Hi, I'm Caroline Heider. I spent my last 25 or 30 years working in evaluation, and I would like to share with you what my vision for 2030 for the evaluation profession is. "2015 is a great year. It's a year where global leaders and the community at large are defining what they think a better world in 2030 would look like. It is a world of greater prosperity. It is a world of greater equality and inclusion, and it is a world where we have better resilience to climate change. However, there are a lot of tensions between these different goals, and there will be tough challenges to reconcile these potentially conflicting demands. All of this is extremely ambitious, and it contains challenges also for the evaluation family. Among them, first of all, is a greater need for evaluation capacity development. Secondly, we need to think about how do we deal with more complex development issues. And thirdly, there are some things that are intrinsic to the evaluation profession that matter. Looking back at the Financing for Development conference in Addis, there is a clear shift that will empower governments much more. Domestic public finance is squarely on the agenda. Even today, governments have more funding than they used to have. In the future, by 2030, that will be even more so. This means that, in addition, they will want to have evaluation capacities at their disposal. Governments will want to understand how well are their programs working and what they can do to improve them. Likewise, citizens will be asking for accountability. This will put pressure on making sure evaluation capacities exist and function well. The opportunity that I see in this is that these evaluation capacities could move very well from public expenditure and focusing on aid to being more inclusive and look at what the effects are of the private sector, of foundations, global partnership programs, and even the policies of partner countries in terms of affecting development. And this is a very exciting agenda. It does require that we make a greater effort to invest in evaluation capacities. For me, the most significant challenges that derive from the SDGs and the climate change agenda for evaluation are threefold. One is the dynamic nature of the development challenges. This means that the development community has to embed evaluative thinking into their day-to-day discussions and actions. For evaluation, it means that we need to understand how do we assess this type of adaptation and changing objectives. The second one is about the nonlinearity of development effects. At the moment, we're working from a logical framework, results chain model that is entirely linear. We know by now that development does not happen in that way. We have to develop new tools to capture what are these multidirectional effects of interventions. Thirdly, embedded in the SDGs are actually incredible tensions between the goals. These will require that policymakers, decision makers, grapple with them and figure out how are they going to balance between these different goals and priorities. For evaluation, we will have to be able to assess whether and how these choices were made. Were these good choices, and do they lead to better development outcomes? So let me now turn to some of the issues that are intrinsic to the evaluation profession. These are not issues that are solely determined by evaluation, but they are areas where we as evaluators can provide great leadership. There are 3 points. First, I want to deal with probably the most difficult one, and that is values. We have been seeing a great commitment to measurement, whether it's policymakers, whether it's program leaders, evaluators, obviously. That is a great thing. One thing that we haven't looked at is that measurement, evaluation, embeds something about values. We are assuming that we're sharing values and that they're all the same. But in a world that is going to be more inclusive, we have to think about different value systems. And this requires that somebody, and I think evaluation and evaluators would be a great group to lead the fore, to start opening up that conversation. This is even more important when we think about issues of, say, gender equality or diverse people who have diverse value systems. Secondly, incentives. We have an incredible power with evaluation because what is measured is incentivizing behaviors. We quite often are not very conscious of that. We need to think about when we put across indicators, measurement systems, are they incentivizing the right behaviors or are they inviting people to game the system? Making a more conscious effort on creating incentives, together with program managers obviously, will help us move really to a system where evaluative thinking can be embedded into day-to-day work. And then finally there is effectiveness of evaluation itself. For the last 15, 30 years that I've been working in this field, evaluation was simply seen as something good, desirable. We have now reached the stage where people are asking, what's the value for money of evaluation? They want to know what changes as a result of evaluation. We have to become mindful of that, build that into the evaluation design, and be able to measure it at the end and after the evaluation is completed. To sum up, 2015 is an extraordinary year. The seeds for a better world in 2030 have been planted. There are great opportunities, but that also means that there are great challenges ahead. For evaluation, I think none of these challenges are easy. We will have to work together. EvalPartners is one of the platforms that brings together a very large number of evaluation professionals and organizations. It is a great platform to continue this conversation and move ahead on tackling these challenges. Thank you.